We know we have a 3, 2, 1 countdown. I'm just kidding. Okay.
Okay.
Fire away, fire away.
What is your name, your age, and your sexual orientation?
My name is Seth Johnson. I am 22 years old. I go to UT. I study art history. I know you didn't ask that, but I'm gonna tell you. And I'm a gay man. I'm a gay boy. Gay man boy.
Gay for the
What
gays.
do you do in art history? What is your artistic medium?
I mean, art history isn't so much about drawing. I mean, I in my own drawings, they're collage based, all of those behind you. I do portraits that are pastels, and then from behind I will do like different ink drawings and different like cut out collage pieces from magazines or different pictures that I already have.
In what way does this allow you to express yourself?
I mean, art in itself, making something is just an expression of yourself because you're physically making something that comes from your mind, whether it be like whether you like know that you're doing it or if it's just something that you're doing in your spare time, like while you're thinking about something else. So yeah, your shoes is right there.
Sorry.
No, you're good. What's the question again? What is it? How is it an expression of myself?
Yeah.
I don't know. It goes from piece to piece. Like all of those portraits right there, those are all different artists that have influenced me in my lifetime and like that I think about in terms of people that have had an impact on me. So I mean, I don't know.
Okay, so like follow up.
Yeah.
What's your inspiration then, would you say?
I don't know. I get inspiration from a bunch of different people, and I don't know. When I say artists, I don't mean just like people that paint or take pictures or things like that. I mean musicians inspire me. Different interior designers really inspire me. Different designers in general inspire me. I would say like the biggest people I'm into right now. I love the Olsen twins, always and forever, and everyone makes fun of me when I say that, but they have done all the fucking right things with their life. Like, they saved all their child star money, they got out of LA, they started their own fashion line, and now they're hanging out with fucking, like, Karl Lagerfeld and Anna Wintour, and and their clothes are amazing, and I just really appreciate, like, all the people that they appreciate. If you haven't read their book, you should read it. Influences, it will change your life. Sorry, this just became an advertisement for the Olsen twins. But yeah, I love them. I also really love James Blake. He's a musician. Who else am I really into right now?
Were you reading Jay-Z's?
Oh yeah, I also really love Jay-Z. I mean, I love like the way he raps and everything like that. But I'm reading his book as well. I don't know where it's at. But it's really good. It like tells the background story behind like all of his raps and different raps and verses and things like that, and just like how he grew up and what he did and what inspired him. But I don't know. I mean, I definitely have my own inspiration that like comes inside of me, I guess. But those are people that inspire me as well.
Do you feel like your identity is a source of inspiration at all for you?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I don't know. My drawings that have to do with like the gay theme, I guess, all come from personal experiences of mine for sure, and personal experience are part of your identity, I suppose. So yeah.
Purposely or like subconsciously, do you feel like your art defies heteronormative ideals?
I mean, yeah. I think it does just in the fact that when I think heteronormative ideals in art, I think of like original or like early European artists like Picasso and Kirchner and I don't know, the Fauvists and all the people of that movement that just painted like nude women or landscape paintings and things like that. And I mean, my biggest one I would say is like through my photography when I've shot like different guys. I know like freshman year I did a bunch of series of like everyone that I slept with. I would just take a picture of them the next morning, and then like on the back of all the pictures, I mean it's just for me and they're in my diary now, but on the back of all of them I'd write like what happened and how I felt about it and all that jazz. And then I mean that piece right there is like about my ex and I haven't finished it yet, but yeah, and more recently I've started working with blood and stuff and whatchamacallit, painting over old pictures of mine. I was looking at this guy, Albert Beard. He was a photographer he's still a photographer, but he was a wildlife photographer in Africa, and when he had his daughter, she just like became part of his work, and he went through a bunch of his old paintings and started painting on top of them with blood and like. His old photographs and started painting on top of them with blood, and I thought it was really cool. And at first, I was just doing it just like to work with the new medium, but now it's like become a lot more meaningful to me, I guess you can say. Especially like I've used my own blood once, and then for the most part, otherwise, my dad got me some like chicken blood from whatchamacallit, not a slaughterhouse, but I don't know, just one of these little like in San Antonio where I'm from. There's like all these little Mexican whatchamacallit like meat marketplaces, I guess, and he just goes there and gets them. Yeah, y'all know what I mean. But I was using that. I use that, and I mean I've only done it a couple times, but I really think I'm going to try and start getting into that as soon as I can figure out how the whole blood works, because it coagulates and dries at different times, and you can manipulate it really well. It's just hard to figure out.
Our next question is, do you feel as though your artwork impacts the lives of others?
I mean, every artist wants to say yes, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I think it does. When my friends come over and like look at my stuff or flip through my sketchbooks, they're really intrigued by most of it. I mean, of course, they're my friends and they're going to say something about it. But I feel like I've gotten really good reactions from different people, and people ask me questions about it. So when someone asks you questions about something, I think that means they're intrigued and it's affecting them in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I think it does. Just it's different. I mean, it's not that different. They're portraits, but my other stuff, I think, can affect people. Or does affect people. Sorry.
Did you look to the camera for that?
Yeah.
Do you feel like you face any social stigmas or problems as a Black queer artist?
No. I mean, I don't even realize like my queerness as being different. Like just being gay is something that's normal to me, and I feel like I've never really had any issues with it. Like. Or like been hate crimed or anything like that. Like one time this boy called me a faggot in like the 9th grade, and I punched him, and that was like the end of that. But other than that, I've never really noticed it, I guess. So I don't think so. I think I definitely think it's harder to be a Black artist, like just stereotypically, because people that are high up in like the food chain in the art world sometimes can be racist, or just like I feel like it is definitely a stigma against Black artists. I mean, you can just tell by the people, like the artists in the canon right now are like famous artists that everyone knows about, and there's not very many Black ones other than like Basquiat, I guess, is like one that everyone knows of. Other than that, there's really not that many. So yeah, I definitely do think it's harder to be a Black artist. Yeah.
Those are all that we have. Do you camera?
Is there any certain expectation that you feel you have to live up to through your art?
No, I mean, if I'm like creating something to sell, like if I need money and I'm like just painting something that I need to sell, I feel like there's definitely different points that you need to hit, or there's like, I don't know, you have to cater to a certain audience, just because there's not a lot of people that are trying to buy art, especially like in a recession and things of that nature, / like not many people care about art other than like art historians and other artists. So it's really hard to sell like stuff that is important to you if you're not well known yet. So yeah, wait, what was the question? Sorry. This happens to me all the time. I start talking and I go off on a tangent, and I'm just like, wait, what?
More about that question.
Okay.
What was the other question? Did you think you compromise your art in order to please others?
Yeah, if I'm trying to sell it, for sure. If it's just something that I'm making and I'm trying to get a series together, then no, I'll do whatever the hell I want to. But if I need to sell something, then yeah, you have to go, commercial, I guess you can say, and do something that you know everyone will like pictures of the skyline from St. Ed's or something like that, just like Boston-y things or blue bonnets and shit like that. Like, it sucks, but I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's great artists out there. You feel like you're selling out because you're not doing something that you're really passionate about. I'm sure that there's greats out there that did basic landscapes to make the money.
Well, do you ever feel like pressure from other Black artists to like have some kind of like agenda to support?
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know, like
Yeah.
like African Americans
Yeah.
in like art culture.
I think for sure. I mean, I'm not really in the black art scene here, to be completely honest with you. Like, black people can be kind of bitchy sometimes, especially if you're mixed. Like, I have had a bunch of issues with that, like growing up. Like, I don't know, people get jealous, people think different things, and it's like hard. And especially, I mean, growing up mixed, growing up gay, and like most of my friends were white. Like, I just related with white people more so. Um, so I think when I do come across different black artists, especially ones that are interested in like ancestral work and things like that, and connecting to like Africa and like where they came from and their roots and stuff, I do feel like when I talk to people about their work and then tell them about mine, I do feel like the shade, I guess you can say, when I'm like, yeah, when I'm like, no, I don't like put on African masks and like take pictures of me like dancing around burning
Well,
sage
yeah.
or anything
I feel like
that.
sometimes it's almost like fetishized.
Yeah, and it really is. And I also think, like, my friend Yvonne, we interviewed earlier, was saying the same thing. Like, people will be like, oh, so is it about your gayness? Is it about, like, your black heritage?
It has to be about something.
Yeah.
It can't just be art.
For sure,
Yeah.
you can't ever just. It's hard to just have art for art's sake when you're a black artist, I guess you can say, and that's lots of the times what I'm into, like different portraits and things. When I'm doing more commercial, it's just like art for art's sake, and I wanted to just be that. Like, it's okay to just have things to be pretty or to be aesthetically pleasing, but people feel like. Some artists just feel the need that like everything needs to have motive behind it, and I know lots of black artists that are just like really into their ancestry and feel the need
Like a
that
responsibility.